Hi. So, it's been a while since I've posted. This is going to probably be the hardest video that I will ever do. Probably the most emotion filled, although probably not the only emotionally filled one. I'm going to start on March 21st, 2004. It was approximately 10 p.m. I'm in an apartment about 3 doors down from where most of my family live. My sister Kim, my sister Faith, and my mother, and assorted nieces and nephews. It's about 10:10 when I noticed the sirens, but I was trying to get my twins and Cassidy to bed, and I noticed that the sirens had stopped, but that the lights were still flashing. I finally decided I should check on my mom, and I tried calling her phone. Nobody answered. I called both my sisters. Nobody answered. I started to panic, so I kept calling. Finally, somebody answered my sister's phone, and when I asked what was going on, they said, "Sherry, you might want to get up here. Tyler's not breathing." So I dropped the phone and I ran 3 doors up. The hallway full of people, cops, paramedics. Our friend Tasha was standing in the hallway, and the police wouldn't let anybody else go upstairs. I kept telling them, you know, I'm his aunt. I need to get up there. They didn't let me. So I stood there holding Tasha's hand. After what seemed like an eternity, a police officer come walking down the stairs and asked, was I his aunt? And I said, yeah. He said, we're getting ready to bring him out. We don't want you to say his name. Don't try to touch him or anything else. We just need to get him out and get him to the hospital. So I said, okay. And they brought him down on a stretcher. He was his head was turned to face the wall away from me, but it wasn't covered. I just squeezed Tasha's hand, and I remember Tasha saying he's gone, but I wasn't hearing that. I arranged a babysitter for my kids so that I could go to the hospital. And to rescue any of the kids like him. When we got there, my sister was already in the back with her son, and a couple of ladies come walking out and asked if we were family, and I said yeah. So they took us back, and Tasha and I are talking, and I'm just kind of laughing along with Tasha because they smiled. They didn't show no sorrow, no remorse. So I just knew everything was all right. When I walked in the room where my sister was, she's sitting next to Tyler's bed, and she's holding his hand, and she looks at me and says, my baby's gone. I asked her, I said, what do you mean he's gone? There's no way. Well, I guess the only thing that I remember after that is being up at the top of the bed holding his head, just telling him, please, you just gotta wake up. I didn't know what happened. I just know that I was told he was gone. Tell me about your first day on the farm. I remember making a lot of phone calls because my sister said she couldn't. And I remember a lot of people filling up the waiting area of the hospital. And then I started hearing about what happened.
You can't protect a client without protecting his abuser. Is that what you want?
No, I don't. The thing is, until the judge rules, my hands are tied. That's it. He made sure you never paid off.
My nephew took his life.
We hung for everything.
He hung himself in the bathroom.
And that's when he forced
12 years old.
Where it went out and
Oh my. The next few days were quite a bit of a blur. I can remember going over to my sister's house and just curling up in a ball on the bathroom floor next to the bathroom
how many others were forced to have sex for money?
and talking to him. I didn't understand why a 12-year-old would do something like that. I did go through a severe anger phase. I hated all of us. My mom, my sisters, myself. There was no note, no explanation as to what had happened other than diaries that he kept. They just scared me. Other than diaries that he kept when he was in the hospital. My nephew was borderline schizophrenic, and he was seriously depressed, and he was bullied. He was biracial, so he had white people making fun of him, and he had black people that didn't want to accept him. He had teachers that didn't understand his ADHD. He had a family that didn't understand his mental illness. I really have no advice, no way to tell you to look for signs, because I wasn't paying any attention. It's just really important that you make sure that your kids know how much you love them, and to be there and to listen and try not to judge and belittle or downplay anything that they're going through, because when it all comes down,
you took care of each other and took care of me.
when it all comes down, you'd much rather have a few minutes of answering things you're not comfortable answering, or trying to answer things that you don't understand yourself, rather than bury your own child. It's been a lot of years, and it still feels like yesterday. I don't think there's ever going to come a time when we'll feel okay. I don't think there's ever going to come a time when we won't wonder what happened. And if he's safe now, if he's at peace. I know you brought up, when you're brought up in a church home, you're told a lot of bad things about suicide. And all we can do is hope and pray that our kids, all of the kids that have chosen this path, are forgiven for what they've done, so that we can see them again in the afterlife. I really just hope that you take a minute to hug your kids and know that even if it seems trivial to you, to them is worth dying for.
edge the truth. The English got big plans for us.